Everyone wants to make a good first impression. They want the other person to think, wow, who did I just meet? Now, the pressure to make a good first impression can make us feel very anxious if we know that we are going to be meeting a woman. The feeling of anxiousness is really normal and natural. In fact, anxiety disorders are the most common psychological disorder, with 18% of the population being affected by them. And social anxiety is when you have a persistent fear of one or many situations in which the person is exposed to possible scrutiny by others and fears that he or she may do something or act in a way that will be humiliating or embarrassing. Now, people who suffer from social anxiety will often experience a situation in a stressed, uncomfortable way instead of a more relaxed way. They may be worried that they will do something embarrassing or say the wrong thing. Now, does this sound familiar to you? If it does, today's video is just for you. Like and subscribe. Dating is one of the most anxiety-inducing activities you can do. You can get through it though by using some handy tools. So let's dive straight in to help you out in the dating world. The first thing is your personal toolbox. That's right, everyone has their own toolbox, not physical, something very mental and spiritual. Within this toolbox, we all have techniques that we can use to deal with these incredibly hard situations. Sometimes these techniques can be formed from past situations that were not handled so well. Techniques are kind of like tools. They don't last forever and need to be replaced. And when techniques get too old and rusty, we need to look at purchasing new ones. And of course, there are some tools which will never get old, just like trusty humour. So it is up to you to look at your toolbox every so often and think about what needs to be replaced. And today I'm going to teach you some techniques that you can add to that mental toolbox. Maybe replacing some of the old ways of how you've actually dealt with negative situations. And these techniques will help you to deal with the anxiety that you have around meeting women. Tool 1, practice self-disclosure. People who experience anxiety are less likely to open up about themselves when they are dating. Telling the other person about yourself and opening up is a key part of dating. And I get it, I understand how nerve-wracking it can be to start telling someone about yourself because you're not sure how they may react or if they're even going to be interested in you. Although you will often be taught that the secret to success is opening up with a pickup line. This actually rarely, ever, never, ever works. Relationships are very intimate and so is dating. Opening up and showing the other person who you really are is important. And studies have shown that people who self-disclose or open up about themselves have more luck when it comes to dating. So if you suffer from anxiety around meeting women, letting down your guard is probably something you don't want to do but you need to do. You don't have to dive right in and practice this on a real person. Start by practicing on you and on friends. All you need to do is tell them a small detail about yourself. It could be as small as something you watched on TV that you enjoyed. Then when you meet a lady, start with this small detail and over many dates start telling her more about yourself. Doing it in these small steps will help you to overcome your anxiety around it and help you become more comfortable around the other person. Tool 2, reduce the threat of judgment from others. Ugh, scary, I know. The fear of judgment is often why we have this anxiety disorder. We're worried about what other people think about us, and of course, this applies to dating. When we are talking to our date, we are constantly wondering what are they thinking about us. And when we suffer from anxiety, the feelings that we experience are even more worse than they really should be. So although every person on the planet is scared of judgment for someone who has anxiety, this is kind of blown up more. Now, you probably only have a few people that you can really be around without feeling judged. Those people that you feel incredibly relaxed with. This is hard when you are dating because you meet someone and you are expected to trust them from the beginning, and without really knowing the person, you're kind of like, how am I supposed to actually relax? It takes work, but one way to help yourself is to surround yourself with those who don't judge. Good friends and family are always going to be there for you. Tell yourself positive affirmations every morning in the mirror, like I'm a good person and anyone will be lucky to have me. And finally, talk to someone that you trust about these feelings. And by doing this, it helps you to gain the confidence that you need to approach a woman and to not feel so anxious about her judging you. Tool 3, accept yourself. None of these tools are quick fixes, sadly. They all take a bit of work, but if you put that work in, you will have more experience and luck with the ladies. And not only this though, but you will start to notice a lot of things become easier for you because you are far less anxious and more confident. This tool is probably the hardest. People who suffer from anxiety have naturally low self-confidence. They focus on negatives instead of the positives, and they think they are useless, ugly, and wonder why anyone would ever like them. It's incredibly important to remember that this is just the anxiety talking. It's hard to swallow, but if you don't love yourself, how can you expect anyone else to love you? You have to love yourself first, so you need to work on this. And this is the hardest thing to do, but it's also the most powerful thing that you could do. You need to do things that you love and things that make you feel good. It could be joining a sports club, hanging out with friends more, getting stuck into a new work job, reading a book more than once, or even dancing. Whatever it is that makes you feel happy, do a lot of it. Create a life that you love. Some people like to be busy, some like to live a slower life. You might like to spend time in nature or playing video games as your wind down time. Whatever it is, do lots of it. Then you need to work on telling yourself every day how amazing you are. Look in the mirror, it's cringy, but look in the mirror every day. Force yourself to say something that you like about yourself. And over time, this is going to improve your self-acceptance. Spend some time writing down your thoughts and dig a little deeper into who you are and who you want to be. All of these things should help you to remember why you are amazing and why you should love yourself. And when you start to love yourself, the ladies will come flocking in because you have a newfound confidence. Tool 4, reframe your thoughts. When you have anxiety, it is easy to think the worst. You might have just been on a date with someone and you leave thinking, well, it's the end of the world. I completely messed that up and I will never see her again. Now it's easy, I get it, for your brain to immediately jump to worst case scenario village. You need to be able to recognize this and think of, you know what, that's how I feel. This is how my anxiety feels, but that's not true. You reframe your thoughts to think, I did my best on the date. If she doesn't like me, it's not because of me, it's because she wants something else that I'm not. This is going to help you gain more confidence around dating. Instead of just never dating because you are worried about the outcome, you are more likely to pick yourself up and try again. Tool 5, practice mindfulness and emotional intelligence. Oh, this is a tough one, but it's amazing. Anxiety forces you to think about the future and the past. You might find yourself often thinking about what could go wrong in the future and what has already gone wrong in the past. Instead, why not try to practice some mindfulness? Mindfulness forces you to be present and in that moment. You need to force your brain to think about the here and now instead of what has happened or what could happen. A quick way to do this, when your brain is racing and thinking of all sorts of things, you have to snap out of it, okay? Bring your focus into that present moment. What are 5 things that you can see, hear, and taste? Now think about those things and it will help to bring you back into that moment. And it's a helpful tool to take with you on a date. When your brain starts racing and thinking about how everything could go wrong, bring yourself back into that moment, think about those 5 things and stay present, and it will help to decrease your anxiety. Now, emotional intelligence is when you understand your own thoughts and feelings as well as being able to understand someone else's emotions. There are numerous studies that show relationships between people who have emotional intelligence are healthier and the relationships last much longer. So if you would like to improve your emotional intelligence, you should be learning how to monitor and understand your own emotions, self-soothe and deal with emotions as they arise. Harness your emotions to deal with situations and problem solve. You listen, you tune in, and accurately perceive the feelings of your date. You show empathy and create a connection based on a shared moment. So gentlemen, I hope you find these 5 tools useful. They might not be instant fixes, but they will help you thrive in the dating world if you keep chipping away at them. And you will be able to easily and painlessly meet more women. If you think I missed something from today's video, let me know down in the comments. Give me a huge thumbs up and consider subscribing to make my day. But if you want to get your name rolling up next to my face, like these amazing people's names here, then all you have to do is click the link in the description bar below to find out a little bit more. Have an amazing day. See you soon.